Wi-Fi, so that's why it's
Okay.
working. Otherwise, mobile network is very poor here.
That's what I know. That's what I was telling these girls.
Hope everyone is fine.
Yes, sir,
Best of luck to
absolutely.
all. Best of luck to all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
We can start now. Court
Yes,
Masters,
yes.
please take over.
Good afternoon to the honorable judges and the participants present in the room. I welcome you all to the second GD Goenka International Virtual Client Counseling Competition. I am Gayatri, the chamber clerk for today. This final round is of a total of 30 minutes, consisting of 15 minutes of the post counseling session, and the judges aren't allowed to provide the participants with any extra time. With this announcement, I would like, with the permission of the judges, that the participants move forward. Judges,
Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you.
May I begin, judges?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am a senior partner at KNB Associates, and you may address me as Counsel 1 and my co-counsel as Counsel 2. How may I address you?
As
You
you
can
please.
address you can address me with the name Arjun. That'd be fine.
Thanks, Mr. Arjun. How are you doing today, Mr. Arjun?
It's pretty hectic. Given the fact that our company is doing great this quarter, so we're just focusing on everything finalized and moving shipments here and there every day, and looking forward to the needs of people.
Okay. Since this is a virtual adaptation of the meeting, if you have any network issues, please let us know. But we hope that this meeting is smooth sailing. So we at KNV Associates, we believe in addressing the client's problem in the first meeting itself. We do not want to waste the precious time that you invest with us, and we hope that the time that you invest with us is really fruitful and it leads to you making an informed choice. And if you choose to retain us, then me and my co-counsel will be the ones handling your case. So we hope that the time we spend together is fruitful and my co-counsel will take over.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Arjun. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. I would like to just give you a brief background of our firm, namely KNB Associates. Our firm was founded in the year 1997, which deals with various areas of law. As you are aware of today, our current case deals with intellectual property, which is why Counsel 1 and myself have been sent to deal with the matter at hand. We, as my co-counsel earlier mentioned, we truly believe in client service as the ultimate goal. And it is our duty to provide you with all the insight we can to help you reach the best possible outcome. Before we move any further, Mr. Arjun, it is imperative to let you know that anything that is said within the confines of this room would be strictly confidential, which is why we would truly appreciate your full candor and honesty, as no detail is too small when it comes to helping us with a case of this magnitude. So I hope we can have a really fruitful session and that you are able to tell us all the details with regard to this case. Before we move into the facts of the case, I would request my co-counsel to brief you on the fee structure we observe at KNV Associates.
Mr. Arjun, before, as my co-counsel said, before we go any further, I'd like to tell you about our fee structure. So in our firm, the first session we provide is free, whereas the remaining sessions will each be 10,000. And if you choose to retain us, we'll send you more details on it later on through email. So for now, could you please lay down some basic facts of the case?
Yeah, sure. So the case is pretty interesting given the fact that two companies dealing with beverages have been called out, to face off each other. So my company Hing Hola had actually, taken the trademark for Amgo from Misleri International, and same goes for the know-how, same goes for the goodwill, and other respective documents that were required for us to have access to that trademark, which were duly filled with the fees paid to them, which was a pretty hefty fee given the fact that Amgo is a really nice product, which was put forward by Miss Larry, and we really felt that our company can look forward to selling this product as one of ours, a part of our line, which is why Hingola approached Miss Larry in the first place. So the problem right now is that since the time that we got everything done with respect to the trademark, we first went forward by complying to everything from our side given in the agreement within the territorial jurisdiction of Indus. Post that, we went forward and we were looking, to put this product to a lot of other countries. One of them was actually, just give me a moment, I'll tell you the exact name. So sorry. So it was Turkestan. I didn't want to, mess out the facts for you so that you guys can help me properly. So Turkestan was one of the places where we were putting it again, and we had applied for a registration, given the fact that we felt that this would be a good thing for other people outside Indus too. Now, the problem right now that Miss Larry is talking about is that they had access to the trademark to all other nations except for Indus, and within the territories of Indus itself, only Hinghola was allowed to do so. So now that they have brought this up, after all the investigations and after all the discussions that we have gone through, we have seen that they had one more member having access to the trademark. They had one more person manufacturing the product and selling it out in the territory of Indus, which should have primarily not been, the case, because Hinghola was responsible for everything related to Amgo, right? So, considering that, they put this forward to us that all of our rights, some of them which are irrevocable under the IPRs and under the trademark procedures that we've gone through, and we felt the need to take this to the court, to the authorities, that these rights cannot be taken back from us, because these are irrevocable and there is nothing that we've done wrong at our part, right? So if it would have been that they have considered talking to us or mediating it or having a channel of communication made to us, then it would have been good for us to comply with things that they are requiring. But now that they have brought it to the legal side of it, it is something where we want to just close the matter. We do not want Miss Larry to be interfering with whatever we want to do with Amgo, which is why we had gone forward for a permanent injunction. We had applied for one, and a lot many other things. So the third party, as per our documents, was Mehra International, located in Mithor. And this was after prior investigation that we knew that this company, Mehra International, was also going forward, manufacturing this product, which shouldn't be happening as of now. So now our company's needs primarily are to just shut the case off, because to be very honest, for a company like Hinghola, which is dealing with a lot of products in its lineup across the globe, we cannot afford such a case to be dragged out in the legal courts, and we cannot let it just affect our international reputation, because no doubt this would be a very good point for the media to bring in. And if the media spurs it up the way it always does, I don't think our company's reputation would be in good hands. So I don't want to, put this forward to the public, put it open to the public for scrutiny, because that won't be, good for both the companies. Both our products, be it Miss Larry or be it Hinghola, have been, going really well in the Indus market and otherwise as well. So I hope that, we are able to solve this out, since we are under immense pressure to get it done as soon as possible.
Thank you so much for your candor, Mr. Arjun. We really appreciate and sympathize with what your company has had to go through. If you wouldn't mind, I have a few follow-up questions. Now, I know it will be difficult to point figures regarding the sum, regarding the deed of assignment, the know-how, goodwill, etc. But I'm assuming that would be dealt with in future sessions should you choose to retain our services. My main line of questioning would have to regard being your lawyers and giving you the best possible advice would be whether the IPR was agreed with regard to territorial jurisdiction. Did Hinghola agree to sell the product only within the territorial confines of Indus? Was this part of the agreement?
So with the preliminary rounds of discussions with Miss Larry International, we did have a discussion on the territorial jurisdiction. Furthermore, it was decided that we would probably sell it in Indus. However, there was nothing that stops us from putting it in different markets, given the fact that the original trademark that was filed by Miss Larry had, the option to sell the product outside the territorial jurisdiction of Indus.
Certainly, Mr. Arjun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Secondly, as you have stated earlier, you were talking about a means to end the case as soon as possible. As you are well aware, litigation can be a very lengthy process, and Hinghola has already filed 2 injunction orders against both Mehra International as well as Miss Larry. While if you would look to avoid lengthy processes, we would suggest mediation, but in the interest of your company, we truly believe that mediation should be your second course of action. We'll get into that later. But as of now, I think before we get into the solutions we can offer you, my co-counsel would just like to reiterate the facts that you've stated to us.
Mr. Arjun, I'd just like to go over the facts that you've told me once more. Please feel free to interrupt me if I've got anything wrong or if you'd like to add anything more. So, your company, Hinghola, obtained the trademark rights, the deed of assignment, your goodwill, the know-how for everything related to Armgo, which was owned by Miss Lady. Am I right? Could you please tell me which date you obtained the trademark?
I really don't have the exact know-how of it right now because there are a lot of acquisitions and a
That's
lot
completely
of
understandable,
new
Mr. Arjun.
companies.
That's all right.
So maybe I'll go forward to my company
Certainly.
executives and tell them to give you the
No worries.
details.
That's all right. We can get into it in our later sessions if you choose to retain us. So, you complied with Indus jurisdiction where you were able to produce a product in the region of Indus. And you also wanted to move to other countries and you filed for registration in Turkestan. And you also had irrevocable rights to the trademark. Am I right? Okay, thank you. And after this, you also filed a permanent injunction that you applied for.
Yes.
That's
Alright.
correct.
And also in this case is the third party, which is Myra International, and they've also been producing this product
Yeah.
that you have the
So
trademark.
that was basically that there was an unauthorized access given to Mehra International behind our backs, given the
Alright.
fact that we were the only one apart from Miss Larry, who
Alright.
had taken care of the trademark and producing the product in the Indus territorial jurisdiction.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun. So now we'd like to know some of your expectations from this case and what you would like us to do. So we could go about this in two ways now that we are going to court. If you would like some civil remedies or criminal remedies, so we'd like to know what your expectations are.
So we did file for damages as well when the permanent injunctions were taken care of. So obviously, when we're talking about damages, it's because of the irrevocable rights that we have for the production and the sale of that product, Armgo, which was previously with Miss Larry. And even though I know that we had agreed on this product to be supplied and manufactured in the territorial jurisdiction of Indus, in no way I guess Miss Larry had the right to stop us from actually putting it up in a different country, which is
Yeah.
specified either
Thank
way.
you. Thank you, Mr.
So
Arjun.
that's much.
We've reached the point of discussion now where we would offer you our solutions. Our first solution would be to approach the High Court as it has jurisdiction, which is of course present through the IPC as well as other means, which we will explain to you in further sessions. We truly believe that this case has a lot of merits and that you would be entitled to certain injunction, specifically with regard to what Mehra International has done, provided we are able to receive substantial documents from Hinghola regarding the ingredients of your product so that we're able to match and certainly verify the fact that they have been copyright infringement or rather trademark infringement. With regard to Miss Larry, it is unfortunate to tell you that there would be certain restrictions and rather roadblocks we come across with regard to what happened in Turkestan. But having said that, we do believe that there is a chance of getting an injunction even with relation to that. However, it is pertinent to note that since both companies have produced the product from India, all rights with regard to the production of Armgo within the country are exclusively with Hinghola, which means anything that has been exported from Indus to other countries would amount to trademark infringement, which is why we believe that your company is truly in a position of strength with regards to being able to receive an injunction, specifically with regard to Mehra International. Our second course of action would be mediation, which we think should only be resorted to if you feel that both companies could reach an amicable solution. My co-counsel would elaborate on the benefits of mediation.
In this situation, if you do have an amicable relationship with Miss Lady, then we do suggest mediation. So some of the pros of mediation would be it's an out-of-court settlement. It takes lesser time, and also it's not binding. So in case you're not okay with the verdict that the mediator has given, we can always resort to court later on. But as my co-counsel reiterated, our first remedy to you would be approaching the High Court because we do see a lot of merit in the case and a lot of strengths that we could help you in getting what you need.
Should you choose to retain our services, we would be more than privileged to have a session as soon as possible, preferably in the next 3 to 4 days, where we can discuss the lengthy legal provisions with regard to trademarks, as well as going into some of the finer details with regard to, for example, the amounts that were paid in order to receive the trademark, whether the trademark has been renewed on a 10-year basis or whether you have paid enough money to own it permanently, etc., which we believe would only be necessary in future sessions. Should you
And
choose
Mr.
not to retain our services, my co-counsel will elaborate on what would happen with the confidential information at hand.
So, Mr. Arjun, for now, we have everything related to the case, and we hope that you'll send us, if you retain us, we'll have, and the relevant documents that we have for now. So, these will be confidential, and if you choose not to retain us, we'll be returning it to you. But the personal notes of me and my co-counsel will remain with us, but rest assured, they are confidential and nobody will ever see them. And if you choose to retain us, you can send us an email and we'll email you back with the link to the retainer. And in case you want to know more about the profile of me and my co-counsel, you can visit the link on our website, and that talks more about the cases that we've handled and a little more about us. But apart from that, it was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Arjun. We do hope that you retain us and we get to work on this case. And thank you so much for coming today.
Privilege meeting you today, Mr. Arjun. Have a lovely
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you very
I
much for your
definitely
cooperation.
hope you guys can. I definitely hope you guys can actually make something out of it, since we need it to be done as soon as possible, like I said before. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. So I do see a lot of merit in the case. Like we do have a lot of strong points that we could
Certainly.
hold on to.
Specifically with regard to the recent landmark judgment between Coca-Cola and Bisleri Limited, it bears a lot of similarities. However, there would be, like we said earlier, difficulties with regard to the injunction order that was being filed with regard to Turkestan, because
Yeah.
while it is true that in that case it was held that Bisleri did not have the right to manufacture products even outside the subcontinent, it would be hard, as our client earlier stated, that the agreement did indicate they only have the right to sell the product within Indus.
Yeah.
We would have to look into the finer details of the trademark agreement between both parties. But I think what is essentially clear is that Mera International is at fault for sure, as they've been exporting the product from Indus to other countries under the same trademark, which definitely amounts to copyright infringement,
Yeah.
trademark infringement.
We can always file a suit against Mera International and have a
Certainly.
permanent injunction against them to stop producing the same product.
Furthermore, I think it's clear that the High Court has jurisdiction in this matter, because as the product involves manufacturing process within the country, not only is Mera a third party to this case, but they would also be equally liable as Bisleri have been, seeing as to how Bisleri have used Mera as one of their subsidiaries in order to produce this. With regard to
Under,
Section 41H and subsection 1 of the same section of the Specific Relief Act, the suit cannot be barred, as there was consensual agreement between both parties, and heavy sums were paid in order to receive the trademarks from Bisleri by Hingola.
Yeah. So coming to the jurisdiction that we can use, we can Section 20 of the Civil Procedure Code. So since it's a suit within the local limits of the jurisdiction, we can always use that to approach the High Court. And we can also use Section 3 and 4 of IPC, which is extraterritorial jurisdiction, because the producers of the product are still remaining in India. And
with regard to whether the trademark was in fact right, I hopefully was registered for an indefinite period. But even if that isn't the case, with regard to Section 26 of the Trademark Patents Act, I'm sure we would be able to find exceptions. And Bisleri has clearly been at fault in certain cases. We would definitely need a lot of documents from Hingola regarding the usage of certain ingredients, because at the moment it's just allegations with regard to Mera. It would be impossible to prove any conclusively without certain essential documents, which hopefully Mr. Arjun would be able to provide us with.
We'll have to comb through the deed of assignment and the goodwill and the non-compete and everything, so we can read between the final lines, and then we could come to a conclusion on how to cut the
with regard to how much was paid for the know-how, the goodwill, the non-disclosure, the non-compete, all becomes pivotal in order to ascertain how much damage Hingola would be entitled to receive. I truly hope that they decide to go towards court relief. Even though the client said he wants to wrap the case up, it would be mediation would not be able to receive as much compensation as I think Hingola are entitled to in this case. Specifically with regard to the fact that they have filed an injunction order, it becomes hard to have an amicable relationship with the parties. I think
And since our client has already lost so much money with Mehra International producing the same product, and our client has already lost so much money. So I think we'll be able to, when we go to court, we'll have a very solid ground to stand on for our arguments.
and as this is a trademark infringement, it automatically becomes a statutory remedy, which Hingola is entitled to. And certainly there would have been loss of reputation and damage to the image of the company if the product that was
Yeah.
sold and manufactured by Mehra was of a substandard level, as opposed to the high standard of Armgo that Hingola is reputed for producing. I truly believe it was a fruitful session, but that we should encourage the client to approach the High Court first as his priority.
Very true. In some cases, like the transfer of know-how, which was given to Hingola, which then Miss Lady gave to Mehra International, I think we could really use those points to help us.
Certainly.
And
And if the High Court would be bound to use the case of Coca-Cola versus Bisleri as a binding precedent, it is not a binding precedent, but it would have advisory jurisdiction as it was in the High Court too. And the case certainly favors Hingola in this case because, irrespective of the agreement between the two parties, the court opined that once the trademark was sold and once the know-how and the deed assignment was done, the party has the right to produce and manufacture the product and sell it in all countries across the world. If that remains the case with the precedent that was held in the case, then Hingola have all the power in their hands at the moment.
yeah, as you said, if that precedent holds good, then once the trademark is signed off, then Hingola has all the rights to do exactly whatever they want with the trademark with no restrictions. So we can always look forward to that.
I think for now, without having the particular sum and the fee in mind, as the client was unaware, which is only unnatural considering that the agreement took place in 1990, it
Yeah.
becomes imperative to know whether the trademark was still registered at the time. Obviously, it was registered in 1990, and usually trademarks of this nature are indefinite because of the amount of sum that was paid. But it would be presumptuous of us to assume whether it was a 10-year period or whether the trademark has been renewed on a constant basis. We'd have to find out more on the same.
I think our next course of action, if they do come back to us, is to get all the relevant documents and comb through them, so we can formulate a better remedy for them.
The client was still slightly unclear on whether the agreement clearly demarcated landlocked within the territory of Indus or whether it said the subcontinent or whether it extended beyond that, which would definitely need to be perused through by us, and we'd have to strictly look for any lacunae within the agreement, as keeping in mind an injunction order that Miss Ferry has filed would be applicable if they do not have the rights to produce outside Indus.
I think that's something that we can only look into after we get all the.
Certainly. But I think we are in a good position, a position of strength.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Council 1 and 2, I think it was a good effort, but I have 3 specific questions for you. I will ask you the questions first and you can answer them one by one. My first question to you is, I've heard Council 1 repeatedly saying jurisdiction of High Court, jurisdiction of High Court, jurisdiction of High Court. How did you decide on the jurisdiction of High Court? That is my first question.
Certainly.
Second question I wanted to ask is, you really did not, I felt you did not extract much information from the client in terms of cause of action in Turkestan, and in your post consultation also, I did not find Council 1 and 2 discussing anything on what are the possibilities of action, legal action in Turkestan. Please address this issue. And the third question I wanted to say, when you spoke about your fees, you just said 10,000. Now, that's not the way a fees is quoted to the client. Either you say that for consultation, we will take 10,000 per hour and drafting fees will be separate, or you avoid the question of discussing detailed fees in the first interaction, and you can say the first interaction is a complimentary session. And once we get to know about the details of the case, we will discuss in-house and get back to you on the fees. And I found that Council 1 lacked a little confidence in terms of quoting the fees, because it was evident that you were not very sure of what you were quoting. So it reflected in your body language and your verbal gestures. So these were three things I wanted to bring it to your notice. Now you may be pleased to address my issues.
Yes. Ma'am, if I may.
Please, both of you,
Thank you. Thank you so
questions
much.
are addressed to both of you.
Yes. With regard to the jurisdiction of the High Court, we believe that this is an issue which, following the system that is in place, to approach the High Court first, and if Hinghola does not get the desired
Why
result,
High Court, jurisdiction of High Court? What is the
Certainly,
basis
ma'am.
of the jurisdiction of High
The
Court? That's what I
jurisdiction
want
of the
to
High
know.
Court, as stated earlier, was due to the fact that the product is manufactured within the country of Indus, and furthermore,
Why High Court? Why not a district court? That's my question. Why not the district court? Why not the Supreme Court? Why are you going to High Court first? That's my question.
we believe that because, continue.
Ma'am, from our research, so we found, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
So the IPC sections 3 and 4 provide extra territorial jurisdiction to the High Court, and obviously we can't. So our first recourse is to.
I think you have a trademark infringement issue here.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a trademark infringement issue? What
Yes.
happens? Which court has jurisdiction in Indus? If we are talking of Indus, you have to therefore specify whether the district court has the jurisdiction, whether the district court will be the court of first instance, or whether, because the value of the case would be very high, so
Ma'am,
the particular High Court would have pecuniary jurisdiction
Yes,
to be
ma'am.
the court of first
I was
instance.
just getting to that. That is why we repeatedly asked the client regarding the valuation of the patent and the know-how, the goodwill. Unfortunately, the client did not have that information at his disposal at this.
So therefore, you cannot say High Court, High Court, High Court.
Certainly,
Unless you specify that in Indus, you have to mention what is the basis of deciding the jurisdiction of courts in Indus. If you are going to file your petition, your suit in Indus.
Yes. Understood, ma'am. And with regard to my co-counsel quoting the fees, I do believe she did state that it would be on an hourly basis, 10,000
No,
rupees.
she did not state.
Did not? Okay. And
you can check the recording. She said possibly per session. And when it is per session, it could be, it is still needs to be more specific. Per session would be 2 hours, 1 hour. Those, in case you are specifying to the client about the fees.
yes.
And my second question on
With regard to the Turkestan issue at hand,
yes.
I believe, ma'am, we did address the issue, but unfortunately, our client was not able to give us the relevant information on whether the agreement between the two parties, namely Misleri and Hinghola, did in fact demarcate whether the issue at hand was with regard to only products manufactured within Indus, or whether the agreement stated that Hinghola has the right to produce these products all across the globe. This still remains unclear to us at the moment, as the client was unable to answer that question. Furthermore, with regard to legal action that Hinghola could adopt in certain cases, I believe Misleri is the party that did file the objection with regard to Hinghola applying for a registration in Turkestan, which is why we did not address that issue at hand. We thought it would be more pertinent first to deal with Mera International, which has been passing off a product as their own under the same trademark, which is a matter of great concern. Whereas the Turkestan issue at hand is still one that in its infancy, as it was only a registration request. It had not yet been finalized, and the registration of trademark has not yet occurred in Turkestan, if I am correct. Which is why we believed that with the lack of information the client had at his disposal, it was more important to deal with what the client knew, which was the Mera International's involvement with regard to production of Armco, as well as the agreement between Misleri and Hinghola, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, both counsels. Thank you. Over to other judges for their questions.
Thank you so much. I do not have any questions for the counsel. I thought they handled themselves well and put their client at ease, which is perhaps the most important thing to do. Everything, of course, can't be done in the first session, but well done so far.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, I apologize. You're muted.
Okay. The participants, they conducted the sessions very brilliantly.
Thank you, sir.
Advocate 2, he was doing much better. And I have no question to ask. And I wish them all the good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best. All the best. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to both the participants. You may leave the meeting. Thank you to the judges for judging this round. We'll just wait for the next team to arrive and then move forward to the second round.
You just give us 5 minutes to
Yes,
do the
ma'am.
scoring. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, the second team is arriving. They are joining.
I'm really sorry for the rush, ma'am, but the second team has arrived in the meeting.
Eh, yes. You can start from my end. I've submitted the scores of the first team.
Ma'am, we're just waiting on the co-counsel for the participants.
Fair enough.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Tell us for the second team on the score sheet, what will be the chamber number?
Ma'am, the chamber number remains chamber number 1 itself.
And the team code?
The team code for the team which is now arrived is
Yes.
17.
17. Okay,
Yes,
thank you. Fair enough. I am ready.
I'll request the participant to kindly contact the co-counsel and ask them to join as soon as possible.
Yes, ma'am. I guess she's waiting in the lobby. Can you just check? She
Yes.
just called me.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
I request both the participants to switch on their cameras. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the judges and the participants. I welcome you to the second international virtual GD Venka client counseling competition. I'm Gayatri, the chamber clerk for today. And as per the instructions for the final rounds, the round is for a total of 30 minutes, inclusive of 15 minutes for post-counseling session. And the judges aren't allowed to provide you with any extra time. With that announcement, with the permission of the judges, ask them to kindly give them permission to move forward with the council.
Please, please, please.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I'll start. A very good afternoon, sir, and welcome to SB Associates. It is a pleasure meeting you. I hope you didn't face any technical issue while joining.
Not really.
Okay, that's great, sir. I'm Advocate 1 and my co-counsel is Advocate 2. First of all, I would like to begin by thanking you for taking the time to come and speak with us today. Before we begin with this session, I would like to ask you that how would you like to be addressed during this session?
You can call me by my name, Arjun.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Mr. Arjun, before we can get into discussing the issue for which you have come to get solution from us, I would just like to inform you about how the proceedings will take place in this session, just to make you familiar with it. So, sir, can I proceed? Thank you. So, sir, in this client counseling session, the process is that lawyers guide their client by providing legal aid and assistance in order to resolve their issue. In today's session, I would begin by laying out how the interview will proceed in order to help you understand the process as well as set your goals and expectations from this session. Then I will move on to explain some of the administrative items like billing, while my co-counsel will explain confidentiality and conflict of interest aspect. Following to which my co-counsel and I are going to sit quietly, allowing you to speak. After which we will discuss some of the legal issues relating to your issue. And finally, we will conclude by exploring some of the possible remedies which can be deployed for your issue. So, sir, if you don't have any question before, I can move on to explaining the administrative item.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, sir, as we know, this is your first session with us today. So, we will be charging you a standard consultation fee of rupees 2,000. So, if there's no question, my co-counsel will take forward by explaining the confidentiality and conflict of interest aspect.
All right.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Arjun. We are really glad that you have chosen us and you have decided to discuss your issue with us. I hope you didn't face any technical glitch while joining this meeting and everything was good. Okay, thank you so much. So, to state in simple terms, confidentiality is a set of rules that are usually executed through a confidential agreement. And the purpose of a confidential agreement is that it limits the extent of information that can be shared with others. And at our firm, we truly believe that client confidentiality is the heart of client attorney relationship. We also believe that in order for us to represent you effectively, it is very important for you to have a sense of trust and confidence over us, as you will be disclosing some really very sensitive matters to us. We assure you that whatever conversations that will take place in the room today will be strictly confined to us and there will be no discrepancy of information. Now, as moving on further, onto conflict of interest, as you can see that there are two advocates present in the room right now, and we truly believe that having the two of us will help us to use our combined experience and knowledge, which will result in a very satisfactory and a good outcome for you. If you have any issues with either of us or both of us, you can seek assistance from any of our associates without worrying about the repercussions. Now that all administrative formalities are out of the way, we would like to hear what is the issue that have brought you to us today. We request you to please divulge in all the information that you have, no matter how irrelevant you consider it to be. Every bit of information will help us in providing you very good assistance. We ask you to please tell us our issue while we sit here quietly and we are attentively listening to your issue.
All right. Thank you so much, first of all, for letting me know all the particulars. And second of all, the issue that I'm having right now is with a very nice company which has a very good amount of financials going well right now. That's Hinghola, right? So Hinghola has been causing a lot of trouble for the trademark of Amgo. And as far as my knowledge goes, Miss Larry International had already, had the transactions and the paper procedures done with Hinghola with respect to the trademark. And we had specifically given them the license, to sell that product within the territorial jurisdiction of Indus primarily. So now what has happened is that this particular company has come up and said that we have actually taken their rights away, and there was a reason why we did that. So the initial documentations of the trademark had specifically said that Hingola would only be selling the product Amgo in the jurisdiction of Indus. However, we did get a notification that that very same product was getting registered under the laws in Turkestan. So we thought that maybe this is something that they're trying behind our backs, because we cannot just let them have the entire know-how and the entire appreciation for the product, because we came in with the product first, right? If we've given them the license and the trademark, does not mean that they just register it as their product in a different country. So one point that is very very well to be noted right now is that we have, under our trademark documents, we have the authority to sell the product outside the territorial jurisdiction of Indus. And even if it is called export, we are definitely not looking forward to register that same product with the same name in another country. We are just exporting it, and its manufacturing is happening in India only. That is the country of Indus. So now they have applied for a permanent injunction, and they say that we've taken their rights away. However, it is very well known that if they are going against their terms in the contract or the agreement, we will have to serve them with a notice taking those rights away and not letting them sell the product. Because no matter what happens, the product initially was with Mislery International anyway, right? So if we are the people who are giving the licensing agreements and everything outside our own powers, we don't really seem to see a reason why Hingola was going forward with the registration in Turkestan. Because if we had to do that, we would have sold the product otherwise in terms of export ourselves. And even if we are doing that, we are very well legally bound to do that. There is nothing wrong in it, right? Now after the investigations, they did say that there is an unauthorized access to Mera International. So Mera International is one of those companies which is taking care of our exports outside the territorial jurisdiction of Indus for the same product, right? So there are two companies that are taking care of the same product. However, Hingola was only allowed to sell that product within the jurisdiction of Indus, not outside the territorial jurisdiction of Indus. Why I'm saying this again and again is because that's their primary issue. The point is that we are a bottled beverage company. We sell bottled water, and that's primarily our product, right? We are expanding our lineup day by day. We are actually acquiring the share of mindsets of people that Mislery is a good company. And this kind of an attitude from Hingola is not good for our reputation in the Indian markets, as well as the markets outside the territorial jurisdiction of Indus, given the fact our reputation is as clean as a silver plate you'd find on a table, right? Which is just put for serving food. But they're just putting a lot of marks on it, a lot of they're just trying to bash it up to something that we're not a good company and putting us in a legal argument with them. So as of now, we are looking forward that we do acquire the rights back that we had to Amgo, simply because if it was given by us, we still have a say, and not like we allowed them in the first place to go outside Indus. We only told them to do that within Indus. So I don't know what they're coming up for, and we have been losing a lot of money. We have been losing a lot of profits in this quarter because of this, simply because this is getting dragged, and the permanent injunctions are hurting us really bad. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but for a company like our stature, it's very difficult. So I don't have anything else to say. I hope that this just gets rushed off easily, and there is nothing that we face as a difficulty. And I hope you guys can give me the remedy that's required.
So, sir, I just need one clarification. That you mentioned about Mehra International, which deals with your exports. So, sir, just for clarification, can you explain me a little more about it? Like, do you manufacture ingredients, or you package whole bottle and then export it? Like, what is the procedure there?
All right, so it's very well noted that Miss Larry would not go forward to just give the basic ingredients of Amgo because it's our intellectual property. We have been working on it for so long. But however, the company asks for a lot of support to have exports going on outside India, and for that matter, we had Mera International having a tie-up with us, which Hingola thinks that it's an unauthorized access to everything, right? However, we really want to clarify that it's not related to manufacturing and it's primarily related to export. So if it is related to export, there is no need for them to, put up an unjustified permanent injunction to us, and taking the sole right to Amgo simply because we already had the right to put it outside the territorial jurisdiction of Indus. We had filed the trademark that way. So there is nothing that they can do about it. However, they still want the unauthorized right to that product and just say that it's theirs. So in that particular scenario, we have to fight back because Amgo is our product and it's actually doing well in the markets. We don't want to lose on to our shares, and we have already lost so much money. We've been paying attorneys for different kind of sessions, for different kind of you know other people are blaming us for different sorts of things. You know how the reputation of a company goes down. You never know how it is quashed like an ant while you're walking on the road. You don't know. So if that happens, we'll again lose lots and lots of money in the coming quarters, and the financial year as it is will go to dumps for us.
We
So we
totally
literally
understand
don't
the
want that.
loss you will going to face, sir, but I couldn't get the answer actually. I just wanted to know that you are manufacturing the whole unit, like the Amgo, the bottle, the product as a whole, all together in Mehra International, or just the ingredient, the trade secret that you possess.
All right. So I'll give you a very basic example of a company that will clear this out. So if you ask KFC for their secret recipe for one product, they don't give it to you. They say that it's a special, ingredient, a special masala that they have to put in their meat that people like. Similarly, a few ingredients apart from the ones that we have kept safely as a secret with us have been told have been the list of those ingredients have been given to Mera International to be manufactured for the export of Amgo. However, the export of Amgo is happening by the name Miss Larry and not Mera International. So in any ways, they do not have the sole right to entirely manufacture the product. So
Thank you
in
so much,
that case,
sir.
the
That
permanent injunction
clarifies
is
my
no.
doubt, sir. So actually, if you were manufacturing the whole unit as one, then it would have amounted to a sale in the premises of Indus. But as you mentioned that you are only manufacturing ingredients and then exporting the ingredients to other countries, so that does not amount the sale of the product which the trademark rights are with the other company Hinghola. So, my co-counsel, do you have something to add?
Yes, I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Arjun, you are the proprietor of Mislery, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So, as Mislery, as you said, that Mislery retained the trademark for Amgo. Yeah.
That's true. We did serve them with a notice that they don't have the right to sell the product
Okay.
anymore because of the
Yes,
actions.
we truly understand, and we also believe that as Hingwola also filed for Amgo and he was selling Amgo in Turkestan, which amounts to infringement of your IPR, intellectual property rights. And as you know, the trademark is a part of IPR. So, and it also covers many aspects of IPR. So, in India or company who has the same name, I totally agree with the point, and we will try our best that Hinghola does not use the goodwill of your company to confuse people and gain profits, and which will result in infringement and taking away of your losses and profits. So we will first of all file a case in the court so that we remove your permanent injunction which they have filed on you, and then we will further move on to the other aspects. Now, co-counsel, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, just for clarification, my co-counsel means that we will defend you in the court when Hinghola has filed a case against you for permanent injunction and the damages for infringement. Is that right, sir?
Yes, yes,
So, yes,
that's true.
so we will defend that, and we will also defend you as we know that Hingola has uh, breached your contract by filing for registration in different country, Turkestan. So, because as per the agreement, it had only the rights within the territory of Indus. So, we are going to look at both these aspects and just I had one more question. Was there any LC raid, local commissioner raid, carried out at any of your premises or particularly Mehra International?
No, not yet.
No, no, no. That's
And
really great, sir.
we hope it does not happen that
No,
way
no, no, no.
because
Now
again,
it won't, sir. Okay. So, my co-counsel, do you have something to say?
No, I don't have anything to say, and we assure you, and we really want to thank you that you have chosen our firm for this sensitive issue. And we'll further look into this matter and we'll seek help from your documents. And is there any document that you have which you would like to give it to us so that we can further analyze the issue?
so you can actually consult the company executives
I
who are on
think you are
the.
exceeding your time because you lose out then on the post consultation session timing.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the session. Now we will begin with the post-consultation session. Yeah. So, dear co-counsel, what do you think about this case? Like, I think they are just manufacturing the ingredients and not the whole product in the territory of Indus. So they are not selling it. So basically, infringement happens when the aggrieved there is a chance of when there's a chance of like a threat to the aggrieved party. But as here the client mentioned that he is only manufacturing the ingredients, so there is no threat pertaining specifically in the territory of Indus, and we have a strong footing on this. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree with this, co-counsel, and I also believe that Hing Hola is really accusing and he's trying to use the goodwill of Miss Larry so that they can further benefit. And just because they are producing, they are manufacture an ingredient does not mean that they will further try to destroy or do anything that which infringes the plaintiff rights. That's the Hing Hola. So I feel they are Hingole seriously and they are trying to infringe the trademark rights of Miss Larry. And so, what are your views on this?
Yeah, I totally agree. So there is no threat of existence pertaining to the territory of Indus for Hinghola. So I don't believe that our client is infringing their trademark right, but I do believe that our client's trademark rights have been infringed by Hinghola because it has registered for the same product's trademark in different country, which Hinghola had no right to do so. So I believe it is a breach of contract, and we must repudiate the contract. We must look at the provisions of Indian Contract Act too, and by that we can get back our client the rights of the trademark. What do you think about that?
Yes, I was definitely coming on to this point, co-counsel. Like we have to breach them for the breach of contract under section 75, which states that Section 75 states that if the party rescinds or if the party refutes from the contract, then one has to prove evidence. And we'll ask Hingwola for the evidences which they have, as they are stating that Miss Larry was unauthorized, permitted the manufacturing of certain ingredients and elements. So we'll ask Hingwola, like, what's the evidence which they are giving? Because in order to rescind the contract, it's on the plaintiff who has to prove. So we'll definitely look at the evidences and we'll also talk through all the certain points. So what's your viewpoint on this?
Yeah, that's very true. And we will also have to look at Section 39 of Indian Contract Act. It also talks about repudiation. So I believe that we should look at this agreement as just as an agreement where the conditions were stipulated. Specific conditions were there which needed to be followed. But the other party, that is Hinghola, breached those conditions. So we should stick to this aspect. like the conditions were breached which were already mentioned and
Exactly.
expressly mentioned clearly. The intention was very, very clear.
And there's no malified intention on part of Miss Lily. So that will further strengthen our point that since there is no intention, there will be no repercussion and there will be no cause for breaking of the contract. And
So do you think there is something which might trouble us in future while we are going ahead with this case? Like any negatives with our side?
I,
What do you think about that?
I don't think so that there are any negatives. Further, all the negatives, when we'll go more deep and we'll do a further analysis of this issue, we might come across certain loopholes in our case. But since we are the firm, we have to do our best so that we can rectify those loopholes, and we try our best so that our client does not have to face any issues. And since they are already facing a lot of damages, and it must be really very mentally frustrating for them to not gain hold of the losses, as we all know that this condition and all these legal proceedings are really very heavy on pocket. And we should also suggest our client, Miss Larry, if they are willing, they should also do mediation. They should also talk between the two parties if they want to resolve. But I don't think so this is of such significance now, as he Hing Hola has already filed a legal
Yeah,
suit.
we have to defend our client.
Yeah, we
We
have to
can't
defend.
go for the talking right now. We have to defend and not allow the other party to get permanent injunction against our client.
Yes.
And as we know that Hingola has claimed for damages, we must also think of filing a counter suit to claim for damages, as we know that infringement has happened on their part too by registering in Turkestan.
Yeah.
So we must also take this point to the client whenever the next session happens, if it happens. What do you think?
Yes, I definitely agree with this. And this point of the damages, this is also stated in Section 73 of the Indian Contract Act, which states that there is a compensation for loss or damage which is caused by breach of contract. And in this case, Hingola has seriously done breach of contract, and it's Miss Lily who is really suffering, as he himself told that he's facing a lot of losses, and all the profits which he's gaining, he's not able to actually utilize those profits. So this shows that he's also getting a lot of monetary loss and mental loss. So we'll definitely also seek for damages.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I think this brings us to the end of our session.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council 1 and 2.
Thank you,
you,
ma'am.
A few questions. Well done.
Thank you.
I would say that your post consultation session was more professional. If I have to do your client counseling and post consultation session on a comparative scale, in fact, what I felt was that you went since your sessions were timed. And normally it is when we are briefing international clients, sessions are timed, so every minute costs money. So then you don't waste so much time on discussing administrative issues. You would rather do it as an exchange of a mail. You can at best tell the client that this is a complimentary session, or this session would cost you 2,000 rupees, as you said. But you wasted a lot of time in the administrative procedure. Next is, I think you mistimed yourself in the first session. You gave the other person, Mr. Arjun, too much time to speak, and you could not extract the relevant information out of him because you were not asking him counter questions. And he went on as a monologue soliloquy. And in a client counseling, the conversation has to be more engaging between the parties. Now, time and again, both of you councils have been using the term Indian Contract Act, and you did not even mention which act, but you said Section 75. Now, please, when your case says Indus is the country, then you don't use the term Indian Contract Act. You have to say Indus Contract Act. So since this is an international client counseling competition, you have to be very careful about the choice of words that you are picking up. And also, I would say that you don't tell your client during a client counseling, I'll give you this, I will give you that. You can't make those commitments because you are not a judge. You can only propose to the clients these solutions. And in the initial discussions, I would suggest some brief idea of the available jurisdictions also should be shared with the client. So these were my observations. Rest, very well done. And I was more impressed with your post counseling consultation. Over to the
Thank you,
other
ma'am.
judges. Over
Thank
to
you
the
so
other
much,
judges.
ma'am. Thank you
Okay,
so much,
dear.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. That was, a great observation on your part. Thank you to the council. Great job, and I fully endorse what Madhumita ma'am said about your post analysis. Well, in the first part, dealing with and structuring a conversation with a client whom you've never met before can be a little tough, and maintaining those time schedules, perhaps because this is a competition, you can use some other techniques. For example, you can prepare questions, or instead of allowing the client to really take off with on a monologue, have a few pointed questions which can also demonstrate your analysis, your thinking on the matter. Having said that, of course, nothing is perfect, but you all have done a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so much.
sir.
Thank you.
So, organizers, can we leave?
Yes, thank you to the participants. You may leave the meeting if the third judge has nothing to add. Parvez, sir.
In fact, Madam Madhumita has already asked very relevant questions. I think whatever was in my mind, she has already asked them, and the participants have done well. There is always scope for improvement, and hopefully they will improve with the passage of time. But as so far as their performance here is, it is absolutely fine. I once again say best of luck to them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you to the participants. You may leave the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
judges. Have a great day.
Thank you. And
Have a
God
great
bless you. Thank you.
If the scoring could be done, and
Yes,
then
we'll do the scoring.
perfect. Thank you so much, ma'am, sir, and Parvez, sir. And I hope you have the links for the Zoom meeting as well already.
Yes, we do. We do. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So we meet again at 4 o'clock. Right?
Yes,
Yes, sir, at the Zoom link. Yes.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, Madhumita ma'am. Thank you, Parvez sir.
Thank
See
you.
you
Thank
all
you.
at
Great.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll
So
catch up
thanks,
again at 4. Great.
Thanks,
Guru,
नहीं,
we are going
बहुत
through.
मजा आता है जज साहब तो कोर्ट में हम लोग से ही डील करते हैं बट वैसे बच्चों से डील करने में बहुत मजा आता है
So thank you, Rajesh, for joining.